There are some parables in Scripture that are hard to understand. In Luke 19 we have this parable about a nobleman who goes off to a distant land to become king. When he goes off on this journey, he draws to him 10 slaves and gives each slave 10 silver coins. When he returns, he discovers that one slave has invested his money and has 10 times the amount. He is given 10 cities to look after. The second has invested his money and got 5 times the amount. He is given 5 cities to look after. But one of the slaves has done nothing with his money. He's hidden it in a handkerchief, and the king is furious. He takes even what he has away from him. There are similar parables in the other Gospels, and there I think the whole meaning is about investing the gifts we've been given, that God gives us talents and we're called to use our talents. But in this different parable, I think perhaps there's a different meaning. Some commentators argue that in this story, the king is not God, the king is Rome. If you look at how the story talks about the king, he is a hard man. He harvests where he doesn't sow, and he is hated by the people. I don't think this is a description of God, but a description of Rome. I want to focus upon this slave who hides his money in a handkerchief. Now in our Bible it says handkerchief, but the word really is dirty rag. It's the kind of rag you would use to clean up sick. The connotation here is almost that the money is dirty money. This story comes straight after the story of Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus, the chief tax collector, who I'm sure would have been very good at Monopoly, has had his life transformed. He has encountered Jesus, and suddenly he gives away half of his fortune. And anybody who he's done money out of, he offers to pay back 4 times the amount. The parable about the king and the slaves is directed to Zacchaeus and the people in earshot. And perhaps this makes sense for Zacchaeus. He's just offered to give away most of his fortune. He'll have to seriously downsize things. No more Ferraris and weekend trips to the Caribbean. Things were going to be different. There may even have been implications with regard to his employers, Rome, when perhaps he couldn't even pay them the money that he was meant to get for them. There were going to be consequences. And this story perhaps is all about consequences. You see, Zacchaeus is like the third slave. He is refusing to partake in the rich get richer system. He's actually fighting against the system as it is. And that always means persecution. Jesus is reminding Zacchaeus that when you begin to care for the marginalised and the poor, when you refuse to partake in the way things are, there will be consequences. But Jesus also says, what good is it to gain the whole world, but lose your soul? There are some parables that have multiple meanings. Whatever you take this parable to be about, one thing is clear. Zacchaeus had encountered Jesus and was transformed. And he'd chosen to reject the things of this world and instead to care about God's kingdom, caring for the poor, caring for the marginalised. And the challenge for us is, as we encounter Jesus afresh today, how will we be changed? What kind of a life is God calling us to lead?